Hey everybody, I am back in this episode. By the way, thank you for joining me once again. And if it's the first time you are connecting with me and finding my YouTube channel, please go through my social media and follow me. I have a lot of inspirational ideas and I have a fantastic Instagram that's gonna inspire you even more. So in today's episode, I'm gonna make basically two fun arrangements because I wanna do National Cabbage Day. So I'm gonna start by doing one Brussels sprouts topiary arrangement with like a structure. And I'm gonna use this faux grass container that I have with a styrofoam ball. And basically I'm going to take some of my kale leaves and I'm gonna pull some from the kale. And I'm gonna take some toothpicks. Basically what I'm doing is I'm gonna create, to be able to cover the foam without like spray painting it, I'm gonna take some kale, cut the hard end of it, and the reason I do that, it's not easy for me to make a little hook like this. Just put my thumb in between and I'm gonna do the kale on the bottom and I'm just gonna do the Brussels sprouts on top. So it's a little bit more architecturally different than what you've been seeing with me do with topiaries, which is a little bit more traditional. This becomes more of like an art piece. Has anyone seen my book? I published a book, a coffee table book, and it's not really floral design, it's more like art and flowers and flowers used in a very textural or architectural way. So this kind of reminds me of when I was creating my book. And it's fun because look, now it's got 3 different layers of textures. It's got the grass on the bottom, which is a little flat and spiky, and then you have the kale, which is a little curly. Okay, see how cool that looks? Now I'm gonna take my Brussels sprouts and I'm gonna pick them, and then I can get real fun with them if I wanted to, or while I'm creating it, I don't have to do them all the same way. So I'm gonna pick them like this. You're gonna need a little bit more than that. So if I even flatten this, right, versus putting it like this, let me show you the difference, okay? If I put it like this versus if I put it like this, which is gonna take more surface space? This one, correct? So if you're trying to save on materials, I would go cut it and use it flatter. If you have more of it and you wanna do something a little more different, you can just do the tall. You just need to cover it up a little bit more because you're gonna need more. The other thing that you can do is you can go do a combination of both, right? High and low, which will give it a different architectural look to it. So I think since I sparked that idea, I'm gonna see if I can continue with that idea. So I'm gonna do half and half. And then the other thing that you can do, which is completely the opposite way of doing things, you can actually take the Brussels sprouts, flatten it on both sides. So if I was doing this, cut the other end of it, and it gives it a whole different feeling. See that? I might put some of that in there as well. So I did really 3 different, same technique, but 3 kind of variations of it. I'm sure I can come up with more. Now you don't want that toothpick to show, so kind of you're gonna hammer it down so it falls. I love Brussels sprouts, especially when they're done with like a vinaigrette toss. I like that acidity on Brussels sprouts. So I'm almost finished with this. I think this looks like a work of art, like literally a great piece of like architectural, like centerpiece that you can use. God, this can be like mounds of this on the table in different sizes. Can be quite interesting on the table. It's quite. And again, why do you need to use flowers all the time, right? Of course, this is going to smell after 2 days when it's outside because it's Brussels sprouts, because it has a certain gas that it puts out. But, see what I'm doing? Going back and adding a little bit more that yellow so the Brussels sprouts can get, you get more attention to it, right? So I see things like with details and I see things in big scales. So I think we're almost done with this. I'm gonna add 2 more on the back so we can get the color. I think this is done. I'm gonna put the rest of the Brussels sprouts in the basket, which is in the family of the cabbage, from what I've been told in research, what we did. Now I have a couple more that's on it. I'm not gonna waste it. Let me just shove this real quick. But look how stunning. Like, it's a work of art for me. I'm in love with it. Anyways, let me start the other arrangement. Let me put this on side. You get to see it beautifully. Now I'm gonna take a cabbage and I'm gonna cut the inside of the cabbage. I don't want to go too deep because I want it to have like a thick base so it doesn't like thin out, and so I have to patiently. I love cabbage. I love the way they smell. I love the way they taste. Just enough to have the floral foam inside. See? Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm gonna get rid of all of this, even though it smells good and I can make a salad out of it really quickly. I'm not gonna do that. It's already pre-soaked. I'm gonna cut this a little smaller, and I'm going to cut the rest excess off. And basically what I'm going to do is take 2 really like acidy green flowers, which is the green dianthus and the kermit mum. And again, they're the same, almost same coloration, but they have 2 different feelings to them. So it's almost, I mean, the first thing that's gonna go, the flowers will last longer than the cabbage will. So even if you wanted to find an alternative, like you found a ceramic pot that is in the shape of the cabbage, most definitely use it, you know? But sometimes like real things have authenticity it's hard to explain. I also like things that are dried because that has a different texture and feeling. So nature is beautiful. It's inspiring to me. First, nature inspires me for everything else. I mean, just looking at the waves of this cabbage, how it's grown, that can be used architecturally as well. So, you know, I'm here to, you know, make you think a little differently than what you think about, like a different source for your creativity. And I hope I keep inspiring you to do that over the years. So I'd love to hear from you regarding like other videos or other themes or certain flowers you want me to use, or and we'll take them into consideration, because I'm sure that, you know, I get a lot of emails, but sometimes we don't find that we can make correct content, or I don't have enough to say about the content. So I would rather do a you know, fun-filled, informative, inspiring content rather than you know, look at this. It almost looks like out of this world, right? I was in Miami, and in Miami there was one display that I fell in love with, and it was just a lot of what I did when I was with Restoration Hardware, but kind of more in a modern way, and I did it more in a vintage presentation. And anyways, let me put these two together. Look how amazing this looks. I mean, I am completely in love with it. Imagine doing a runner of these on the table. You can even take these Brussels sprouts and you know, you can use the Brussels sprouts like this and still take this architectural piece and layer it one more time, because look at the coloration on this, right, which is that light yellow, light green, white combination. Then it's starting to pick up on here. So this is why it works. I can even take cabbage like this, which is a different kind of cabbage. And I could, let me show you this really quickly. I wasn't planning to do anything with this, but if you cut this, you almost do a cabbage rose. Look at this. Like when you put this like this, I mean, just on camera, I can already tell, like this. If I put it displayed like this, look how amazing. Let me get rid of all of this so you visually can see how stunning. So, you know, thank you so much for joining me. I hope I inspired you and thought of like the National Cabbage Day with these different, you know, cabbages and kales and stuff that we used for the, because it's in the family of the cabbage. And this is so fun. Like for me, this is like, this is a showstopper. Like there's nothing like an all white or an all green or variations of whites, greens into the yellows. Like this is, if I was doing a color palette, I mean, this is like I nailed it, right? So again, thank you for joining me. My social media is on the screen. Definitely, if this is the first time you are tuning in, I hope you subscribe, tell a friend, share, give me your comments, and I thank you for your time. Peace out, guys. Thank you.